Hi students, Pete Estabrook here. I just wanted to do a little posting on a subject matter that seems to resurface periodically, and for me, it has again recently in two particular cases with some students, um, and that subject is embouchure issues. So oftentimes a student will, at some point in their playing career, run into some sort of embouchure issue, and they seem to kind of figure out that it is actually an embouchure issue. So that could have to do with orthodontia, removal of a tooth, braces, in some cases, maybe slipping the mouthpiece down into the red of the upper lip, which is the one no-no as far as I'm concerned regarding embouchure. But the the thing that seems to resurface is that a student will come along and basically say, "Yeah, I need a lesson so that you can fix this, so that I can go back to doing what I was doing in the way that I'm currently doing it." And unfortunately, things don't work that way. So, as teachers, we're not trying to tie somebody into a long chain of lessons and an extensive embouchure change, but basically, in my experience of teaching for 40 years, these things don't happen quickly. I think the great teacher William Adam is quoted as saying that there's no shortcuts to good trumpet playing. And if you think about that, there's maybe some shortcuts to bad trumpet playing, but there's no shortcuts to good trumpet playing. So, um, the habits that have taken us to a place where we're in trouble are not simply reversed with the wave of a magic wand. What the problem is not just shifting an end of the line issue and moving forward in the same way. It's actually reworking the entire process of how we're going about playing. In other words, the mechanics. So, if someone has run into a problem and let's say they're playing lead trumpet in a jazz band and trying to do that on a 3C or a 1 1/4 C Bach mouthpiece, their tongue is down and flat, they're using a tremendous amount of pressure and having to overblow to try to make things work. um, you know just changing the placement of the mouthpiece or changing the mouthpiece itself, that's not going to really solve the problem, because what we're talking about in that scenario is a multitude of issues that need to be reworked, rewired, and so forth. And so I just wanted to point out that the solutions for these sorts of things are not immediate, they're not quick, um, and we just need to keep that in mind, that when we get into trouble, the time to try to solve issues is not at the last minute, a few days or a week before a big performance, but to set ourselves up in a way that we don't run into these sorts of problems in the first place. And of course, the guidance of any legitimate, good quality teacher would hopefully help us from doing that, running into that situation, if we follow the instructions of the teacher. So keep these things in mind, and this subject is very likely to come up again, and I'll make some more comments when it does. Meanwhile, get to practicing.